Hi, this is Paula, and in this video I'm sharing with you a restorative yoga sequence to help balance anxiety. So for this sequence, if you do have access to yoga blocks, bolsters, you're welcome to use this if you want to, but for this particular sequence I want to show you what you can do with items you're likely to have around your home. So you're going to need a blanket, at least one cushion, and 2 bed pillows, and also a chair. Now, starting off with our blanket, for our first pose we're going to have our blanket folded in half. Make sure it's actually quite long widthways, and then once your blanket's folded in half we're going to fold it into 3, so you end up with quite a long thin shape. And once you've got your long thin shape with your blanket, you're going to be lying down on it. So just to show you where you want the blanket to be when you're lying down, just underneath the lower ribs and just above the hip bones, hip points. And placing your blanket down on the mat or on the floor and lying down so you can position yourself in that place. So just below the lower ribs at the top of the blanket and just above the top of the hips for the bottom of the blanket. And then you're going to wrap yourself up. That's why you want the blanket to be quite long. Make any adjustments you need to the blanket before you settle, and place one hand on top of the other. And your feet can be as wide as the mat or wider or closer together. See what feels good as you settle into your face down relaxation pose. Taking a deep breath in and out through the mouth. Another deep breath in and out through the mouth. And feeling free to continue breathing out through the mouth if that feels better for you. Or just breathing in and out through the nose instead. And you might notice that the belly's breathing into the blanket. That's that slight compression there. Allowing your exhales to be as long as feels comfortable for you. And allowing your body to feel heavy, completely giving the weight of your body to the ground. So you're not trying to hold yourself up. When you're ready to switch, just sliding one leg over. I'm sliding my left leg along the ground into this right angle shape for sleeping pose. You can rest one ear down. If this shape with the hip doesn't work for you, you can adjust. As you can see, I'm playing around with the positioning. So maybe a cushion under the knee or foot. If it doesn't work for your hip, you can also just bring the sole of the foot to the inside of your straight leg. I quite like this without the cushion, so I'm going to leave that to one side. And by having one ear resting down on your hands, it's a gentle stretch for the side of the neck, but you can keep forehead down if you prefer. Just observing your breath, just watching your breath. And just staying here for as long as feels comfortable for you. When you're ready to switch sides, sliding your bent leg back behind you and gently sway hips right and left a few times. And then change legs. So you've got opposite leg going forward. So I've now got my right leg sliding along the floor, left leg reaching back. Remember, you've got the option to adjust the positioning of the bent leg or to use a cushion for support. And you can turn your head so you're resting opposite ear down for a stretch down the other side of your neck. So again, being here and in all of these poses for as long as feels comfortable for you, but 1 to 5 minutes is a good rough guide. Don't worry about being too prescriptive about exactly how long you're here, so that you're allowing yourself to move, to change your position when feels good for you. If you do feel able to modify your breath, then you could play with making your exhales slightly longer than your inhales. This can be very soothing, very calming for the nervous system. But don't force it, just see where your breath wants to be. So once you moved on from that side, lifting the feet, taking lower legs right and left, your windscreen wipers, which is a gentle twist for the back. Just a few on each side, and then resting feet back down onto your mat. And then from here, getting ready to move, taking your time as you slide hands alongside the shoulders, coming into a child's pose position and elevating the head. So if, like me, your hips don't touch your heels or nowhere near your heels, you can elevate the forehead further by placing a cushion or pillows underneath your forearms. But even if your hips do naturally touch the heels, it can be quite nice to elevate the head. And you've still got the blanket wrapped around you, so there's that gentle compression of the breath into the belly, into the thighs. You can use this as a transitional pose where you're just here for a few breaths, or you can stay here for a bit longer if you feel comfortable here. So again, see what works for you. When you're ready to move, slowly coming up, and just take a breath or two here before you move on to your next pose. So for our next pose, we're going to use our cushion and our blanket, and this is where you want to go and grab your chair. If you're using a yoga mat, make sure that the chair is on the mat, the sticky mat, so it won't slip. If you're not on a mat, then make sure that the chair is on a position where it won't slip. I've just turned my cushion around, as you can see, so that it's more of its diamond shape, and so that I'm able to sit at the corner. This can help with tipping the pelvis more easily. And then take your blanket, which is still folded, open it slightly and create a roll with your blanket. So you've got a long blanket roll, and this is going to wrap around the ankles and tuck in just under the hips on each side in your cross-legged pose, so it supports the hips. Bring your chair closer towards you, close enough so that you're able to lean forwards into your seated forward fold. With the legs crossed, we're getting a gentle stretch into the hips. And the forward fold, just providing a bit of release for the back of the body. And while you're here, you might actually notice that you're able to breathe more into the back of the lungs, that sense of expansion along the back of the body. So we're focusing on face down, forward bending poses here to ground, soothe and calm. And while you're here, feeling free to breathe out through the mouth at any point, without any judgment, just observing what your breath is doing. With each exhale, finding a little more release in your forward fold, a little more ease. When you feel ready to move slowly, lifting your head, and we're going to change across the legs. So moving your blanket roll so you can bring opposite ankle in front, and then placing your blanket roll back underneath the ankles for support and tucking the blanket into the hips, underneath the hips. Adjusting your chair if you need to bring it closer or further away. If you did have one arm on top of the other last time, then you can place the opposite arm on top. Or you can change the position as I have here, reaching arms forwards, which might be a little bit more of a stretch along the back. But see what feels good for you, and also feel free to adjust your position. So don't feel that you have to be completely still while you're here. And your forehead, it can be, if you're in this position with one arm on top, forehead can be resting on hands, or maybe the forehead is just resting lightly on the edge of the chair. So again, see what works best for you. And you'll feel ready to move slowly, lifting your head. Giving yourself a chance to pause for a breath or two. And just allowing yourself to take your time. We're going to move on to our final pose now. So placing your chair to one side and grabbing a hold of your cushion and your bed pillows. And you'll also want your blanket for this pose as well. This is our final relaxation, our side lying pose. So you're going to do this on our left hand side. So coming over onto your left side, both legs reaching out. And then you're going to take your bed pillows and place the bed pillows in front of your thighs. And so you're going to, from here, place your right leg on top of your bed pillows and lower the head down. So quite important with the head support that your head is completely supported. You're going to tuck your support into the neck. So if you see that your head feels like it's reaching for the ground, adjust your support. So here what I'm doing is I've folded the cushion and really tucked it into the crook of my neck. So my head's completely supported. Taking your blanket, opening it out so that you can place it on a diagonal across your body with some material in front of you, so that that material acts as support or just a nice cushioning really for your left arm that's reaching forwards. Play with the positioning of your right arm, your top arm. If you do have access to an extra cushion, it can be quite nice to use that. So you're going to be here for your final relaxation. Make sure you adjust as much as you need to be in a place where you're comfortable to rest in stillness for a while. So this second cushion here is where it's quite useful. You could hug your cushion with one or both hands. That can be really nice, quite comforting. And before you settle in, make any final adjustments you need to a place where you feel comfortable to be as still as possible for a while. Feeling free to breathe out through the mouth. If that feels good, to breathe out through the mouth. With each exhale, giving the weight of your whole body to your props and the ground. And again, you can be here for just 1 to 5 minutes, but if you feel comfortable to be here for longer, you can be here for up to 20 minutes in this side lying relaxation. So again, see how you feel. Nothing left to do but rest and breathe. When you feel ready to move, allowing yourself to take your time, using hands to guide yourself up slowly to a comfortable sitting position. I hope that this practice is helpful for you. Be kind to yourself. Thank you.